Welcome to It's All About Connection, NVC with Dr. B.
We are addressing a listener question. Is it a question or more of a comment?
No, I think it was a listener and also another Big B Method student who's been coming to the class in the empathy gym for, a long time now, 2 years, maybe more. He just learned about this concept and he likes to share stuff with me, so he shared it and I thought, "Oh, that might be a nice thing to talk about on the podcast." So I
And
don't think
what
it's really a question. He was mentioning about the difference between unmet needs. How does he put it? The difference between concentration on unmet needs versus the beauty of needs. Yeah.
And what does this
You,
mean to you?
well, I think about it when I'm teaching self-empathy in the intro class. I have people go through a quick version of self-empathy, which is I ask people to think about first a situation in their life uh, and um, to come up with one static sentence to say what's going on in that situation. Like my husband doesn't care about me, or my kids don't ever clean up the bathroom, whatever it is, just one static line. And then I have people close their eyes. I don't know if you remember this. I have people close their eyes and say that one static line over and over and over again, and then notice what happens to them internally, right? And usually we'll hear from people saying things like, I noticed my jaw got tight, my heart started beating, I was sweating. There's a lot of like physical response, usually, I hear from people when they repeat that one line over and over again. And then I have them do part two, which is a very quick version of self empathy, which is to think about that same situation and then to fill in the sentence. I love it when I have, and you put in the need. So like with the kids not cleaning up the bathroom, I love it when I have cooperation, or I love it when I have order. You would fill in the need, and then I would have them close their eyes and repeat that sentence to themselves over and over again. And oftentimes people share, not always, but oftentimes people share noticing feeling lighter, maybe smiling as they're thinking about it. But there's getting around to the point of this episode, there is a difference. I think people have a tendency when they're doing that activity to think about, I don't have that need right now. I wish I had a need for order. I wish I had a need for a cooperation. I don't have it right now, right? As opposed to just, I try to direct my students to think about the need that you're longing for and think about when you have that need. Like, go there. What is it like to be in connection with the beauty of your need, right? Just that need in your life and how it shows up in your life. That's very different than thinking about concentrating on, like, I have unmet needs here versus, oh, just shifting to when I have that need met. Does that make sense? Like what would be the subtle difference internally for you?
Yeah, I think when you're focusing on the lack part or kind of like maybe actively mourning a need, you're in the not having of it and you're in the wanting of it, I think. And when you think about how you feel when you have that need met, yeah, there's like a somatic response in your body. It's almost like how people describe manifesting, like you imagine being in the having of that thing
Yeah.
as
And
opposed to
I
being in the lack.
and I think you are in a way manifesting it as well, because I think the subtle difference here is like you're leaning into like, oh, that's what it's like when I have that, how beautiful it is to be connected just with the purity of the need And then you're letting go, hopefully, in that moment of the strategy. Like the strategy is those kids going into the bathroom and cleaning up their shit, right? Like you're letting go of the strategy. You're tuning into more of the actual need itself and how it fills you up internally. And it allows, I think, for some level of freedom or openness to other strategies that might help you to get that need met, right? Um, so it's
Yeah,
just,
it helps you to loosen your grip on the strategy.
yeah, exactly. Whereas if you go into it with, sorry, there's a lot of noise going on in my house. I don't know if people are hearing that, but I'm having my need for contribution. Um, what else? Independence. Because I'm getting solar panels put on my house as we speak. So I'm hearing all this drilling over my head. I don't know if you're hearing it.
No, I
Anyways,
hear it.
you can't hear it. That's good.
Mm.
Um, I don't know what I was saying before I was distracted by the drilling. Do you recall?
When you're focusing on you were using the bathroom example and focusing on having that need met or having the experience of the feeling of having the need met.
Yeah, it just opens you up to other possibilities. You don't get bogged down if you're in the I'm not getting this need met. You have much more of a tendency, I think, to be holding on to the strategy connected to the need than
Mm.
moving into just the pureness of the need and having an awareness and being with that internally. It's a really subtle thing, but it makes, I think, all the difference in the world. So people out there, you can try this at some point. So emergency self-empathy, which we're talking about, is like you're in a moment and you're struggling with something, and you can think about you could think about, I love it when I have, and fill in the need and really imagine having it. Like imagine being with it and having it. There's something about that it actually brings it to you in some way. Like you said, manifesting in a way. I think that's what I was saying before the solar. In a way, you do manifest it because you get more connected with the life connected to that need. And then it allows you to have more openness to figure out other ways to create that for you in your life.
Yeah, it
So,
allows you to, like, tap into the feeling, like, feeling what it feels like, and then create space for other things.
yeah, so you're not so closed down, so you have more creative ability, more problem solving ability to be able to figure out how do you get it in your life. And yeah, it might not be by the kids in the bathroom cleaning up. You may have to mourn that some and be connected with even the beauty of not having that need in your life. There's something there too. There's just something raw about being connected to the need itself. Do you get that?
Yeah, but I don't think I did go away for a second. I was thinking about how we've never talked about this on the podcast before, and it seems like a pretty important thing, and I don't know how it hasn't come up when we've done, like, a million episodes around, holding your needs tightly and your strategies lightly, but yeah, and I hadn't even really ever encountered it before.
Yeah. So I
I
mean, and
understand it, but
it's a subtle thing too, because I think people can often say, right now I'm not having my need for, whatever, consideration met. That's very different than saying, I love it when I have consideration. It's such a beautiful thing when I have consideration. I love it when I have, kindness instead of, right now my need for kindness is not being met. It also switches up like the blame. I think there's still a tendency to hear blame when someone's hearing like right now so and so is not being met. Oh, does that mean you think I'm not doing that, like, I think there's more of a tendency to fall into the blame game with that, as opposed to just really owning it as the thing that you are wanting in your life, that you appreciate so much having in your life. And you're just wanting this person to know how much you care about this and you enjoy it, and an invitation for them to contribute to it or not to contribute to it, right? It's just it's a subtle thing, but it can make all the difference.
Yeah, it's a seemingly small um, redirection or just shift in
Mhm.
focus. But yeah,
Yeah, so those of you guys out in the wild trying this on, something you're noticing that you're feeling some feelings that you're not enjoying and you're noticing it's connected to a need. Can you put it in your mind as I love it when, and fill in that need, and then really imagine having that need at a time and go there in your mind, as opposed to woe is me, I'm not having this need met in the moment. Just try that on and see the subtle difference that can occur for you internally around it. I think that's all I want to say about that. And
alright.
we'd love to have people come join us in the intro at, you can find out information at the Big B Method, www.thebigbiemetod.com. And we also have an empathy warm line, which you can call.
And oh, and
Okay.
it's 850-706-0488.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.
You've been listening to It's All About Connection, NVC with Dr. B. For more episodes and guest bios, please visit us at www.thebigbmethod.com. That's www.thebigbiemetod.com. And remember, empathy first,